Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan Battle video. So the Cell Game story event has actually been around for a couple of weeks now, and I have not yet jumped into it because they just added new stages to it. Now it seems like one of the reasons they added new stages later, even though like a lot, these stages aren't really giving good rewards or anything like that, or anything new to farm, is because you have to beat all the stages of this story event, as well as the Android Saga story event and the Cell Saga story event, right? You have to get all of that done, and then once you have all of that done, then you're able to take on the new Extreme Z Area event. Now, I'm okay, I want to get this video done. We'll kind of go through the Cell Game story event, right? We'll talk about it, and then at that point, that will unlock the Extreme Z Area for me, which I do want to make a video on, go in depth on it, because a lot of people are very upset about this new Extreme Z Area, right? Personally, I don't think it's bad. I think it's actually a good thing for the game. A lot of people are mad because there are heavy restrictions on the units you can use. I'm not even gonna front, right? Like, there's only a handful of units you can actually use. But guess what? They're mostly all free. It's only like not LR Cell, but Int Cell, the OG, like literally second TUR in the game Cell. So like, if you've been playing for a while, guess what? You have that Cell. Now Dokkan, here's the thing, a lot of people re-roll like when new hype banners come out, so they can always have like the new units and stuff like that. Like, I get that, right? Like, I totally get that. But these gacha games don't like when people do that, because obviously that keeps them from making money. So they don't design the game around people like having re-rolled accounts and stuff, right? So like that's something like you really do got to keep in mind. But outside of that OG Int Cell and the two Super Vegetas, the Int one and the AGL one, like, it's not like there's really a ton of units like that you could summon that even help you there. Like, I guess there's also SCR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and then there's the 40% supports, the second form Cell and TN, but it's like, bro, like, you're not gonna use those guys. Like all these units are free to play. They're so easy to get, and like, I don't know, people are really complaining about it. Honestly, it's been very surprising to me. I don't really think it's a big deal. Like, they're doing something different, right? I mean, I guess a lot of people probably just didn't farm up some of these units that you have to use, right? Like, you do have to use, here, I want to keep using the Goku team, or Goku family team while we go through this, but you have to use Goku and Gohan. You have to use the Int Yardrat Super Saiyan Goku. You have to use Vegeta and Trunks, and you have to use Android 18. Now, here's the thing, right? I mean, if you guys watch my videos at all, if you follow my content, all these units that have come out, I was saying that they were good, they were interesting, right? If you guys remember, listen, I'm the biggest whale there is in Dokkan. There's not a bigger whale than me. There isn't. I rainbow every unit on their first banner, right? I rainbowed all 4 of those free-to-play units right away. They were all pretty good, so I rainbowed them immediately. Now, of course, the Goku and Gohan and the Vegeta and Trunks, I mean, they're different because they're free-to-play rainbow units. You use their own orbs to rainbow them, so that's not really, so much of a big deal. But that Android 18, I'm seeing a lot of people gave her no attention whatsoever. She's the best support type unit that the Android Saga team has got. I was telling people to rainbow her, get her grinded up, get her farmed up. She's worth it. She's really worth it. And cats didn't want to do it. Like, I guess I don't blame y'all. Like, okay, let's say you don't have MVP Android 17, right? So you can't run the Android Saga team. Maybe you're thinking, huh, well, I've got no reason to farm up this Android 18 then. Like, I do get that, right? That does make sense, because Android 18, like, if you look at her, she is a unit you get from the Baba shop as well. But, like, that's the thing. Like, okay, so, like, there's so many layers to this. They give that Android 18 out for free at the start of the game. They give her for free. She's a free unit. They give. She's 100% free. Like, you do the little tutorial at the start of the game, and they give her to you for free. It's so easy to do. By the way, this new Goku art, I'm going to talk about this in a second after I'm done talking about the Extreme Z Area stuff, but it is a real shame, man, that they did not actually give us the LR Bye Guys Goku. Like, You know, Android 16, 17, and 18 is definitely something different. You know, I'll say this. Like, you know, it's definitely more impactful that we're going to get, like, new units for, like, the Android category team. You know, something like Siblings Bond they might be a part of. Rather than, you know, like the Goku family team and the Super Saiyan category team. Like, yeah, those teams don't actually need a buff, but I just think Bye Guys LR Goku was like a sure bet, like super hype. And I do think Dokkan maybe made a bit of a mistake, a bit of a boo-boo by not making it that Goku. I mean, they set us up so hard and gave us a last-second fake-out. I was very surprised by that. But anyway, going back to Android 18, right? She's really good, but, you know, you do pretty much have to use her on the Android category team. I'm talking over it, but Goku vs. Cell, by the way, is definitely one of the top... I probably would have it in, like, my top 10 fights in Dragon Ball, I think. Goku vs. Cell. I feel like it is in the... Maybe. I don't know. It's definitely, like, really, really good. And especially the anime does a fantastic job, I think, of making that Goku vs. Cell fight just absolutely incredible, right? I probably would have it in my top 10 fights. I guess I haven't... That's something I haven't really thought too much about, like, since Dragon Ball Super has come out, right? Because, like, for me... UI Goku versus Jiren, I think, is actually my favorite fight in all of Dragon Ball. And then I think I probably have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan versus Cell as my second favorite fight of all time, I think, in Dragon Ball. So, like, I'd have to, like, think, like, what Dragon Ball Super fights for me end up in the top 10 best fights. Like, honestly, a lot of the beginning of Dragon Ball Super is just not that great. Like, Vegito Blue versus Zamasu should have been one of the best fights in Dragon Ball history, and it honestly wasn't. Oh, Gogeta versus Broly, dude. Oh, would I put that? Would I have Gogeta and Broly at 3? I don't. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Like, oh, I don't know. I'll get back to that. That's interesting. Gogeta versus Broly is definitely up there though. Like, but like, you know, a lot of Dragon Ball Super, you know, because like some of the Goku Black stuff was really good, but those were like, it's like one episode of them fighting and like it's done. Like, you know, when Goku Black first goes Super Saiyan Rose, yeah, that was like, you know, transcendently awesome. But, you know, it was like basically it was the last half of an episode and then the first half of an episode when Goku Black first goes Rose. So, you know. And then here, of course, is where Gohan comes in. To be the chosen fighter. And then here we go. More art for Goku. That's card art. Like, they definitely have this Super Saiyan Goku ready to release. I think, honestly, Dokkan's making a mistake. Android 16, 17, and 18, I think, is something they could release at any time. But LR Bye Guys Goku would be the best utilized right now. If you guys recall, when Metal Cooler... Okay, this is info we got from the French data miners. I still want to get back to that Extreme Z area stuff, by the way. But the French data miners told us that when AGL Metal Cooler came out last Halloween for JP, that was when Dokkan made LR Full Power Frieza, right? At the time, if LR Full Power Frieza had dropped at that time, LR Full Power Frieza, I think, might have been like the 3rd or 4th best unit in the game. I think it probably would have been Goku and Frieza, LR Vegito, LR Gogeta, and then, you know, maybe, you know, over the next, like, 3 units, LR Full Power Frieza probably would have been in that range if he had released back at that time. Because remember, you know, that was before we got the LR Super Saiyan 4s. That's before we got LR Kale and Caulifla, LR Gohan and Goten. Like, these, like, insanely top-tier LRs weren't around back then. So LR Full Power Frieza would have been so impressive. And honestly, the Wicked Bloodline category team badly needed a summonable LR. If you guys remember back then, like, I made videos like, oh, could this be the Wicked Bloodline LR? Could this be the Wicked Bloodline LR? Like, making a lot, you know, like, thinking about it, like, I thought Mecha Frieza and King Cold would have been a really good one. But then they decided to push LR Full Power Frieza back and instead match him up along with the Dokkan Fest Super Saiyan Goku. Who came out, you know, in June of this year is what they decided. Now, I suppose what they could be doing is the same thing with this Bye Guys Goku, because there's multiple new arts for him. He's a card for sure, but, like, it's hard to tell when he's going to release now or what's going to happen with that, right? But when they show all these new arts like this, it's one of those things where there's smoke, there's fire. I honestly believe we are going to see that Goku materialize as a card probably sooner rather... Well, I don't want to say sooner rather than later because, I mean, what? 1, 2... I mean, Full Power Frieza came out 8 months after AGL Metal Cooler. So, you know, let's say there is, and they did just make an LR by Guys Goku, right? Just for the sake of argument, let's say he is made. They've got him ready to go. But then they just decide not to release him until, like, next May or something like that, or next April. It, like, would be, like, the same timetable. So I don't know. Because I don't even know what would they pair that Goku up with. Because, we just got a bunch of Cell Saga stuff. That's the thing. Like, I feel like Android 16, 17, and 18 as an LR, that's not like super hype, right? Like they could just drop that whenever. Like, who cares? It's not a big deal at all. It's not a concern. Like, oh, Android 16, 17, and 18 just doesn't carry hype. Like, they would have been much better served, I think, as a new free LR rather than a summonable LR. And I do say this, I'm talking strictly about their hype value, by the way, because, like, 16, 17, and 18, they could become the best unit in the game. And even if they do, I still think a lot of players would say, I'm good. Like global player. If you're a global player, right? Are you going to summon on this legendary summon banner for Android 16, 17, and 18? Or are you going to say for Trunks and Zamasu? Are you going to go for Android 16, 17, and 18? And under this argument, let's presume that 16, 17, and 18 are better than Kale and Caulifla. They are better than Gohan and Goten. They're the best unit in the game. Like, are you going to go for 16, 17, and 18? Are you going to go for Trunks and Zamasu? Are you going to go for Super Saiyan Goku? Like, honestly, there are people who would if the androids did materialize as the best unit in the game, there's definitely a lot of people who would then go, oh, wait, I can't skip this. But there's also a lot of people who are still going to say, I don't care. It's Android 16 and 17 and 18. I'm saving for Trunks and Zamasu, who are ridiculously hype, right? So I do think that was definitely a misstep by Dokkan. But, like, if we get back to the Extreme Z area, quite honestly, I don't think that is a misstep at all. I think the Extreme Z area is very interesting to me. Also, in a second, I want to get to this Gohan. It was stated that his super attack animations are going to be updated, which is just absolutely crazy to me. After all this time, our boy Gohan is going to get new animations. That is wild. Yeah, so them updating LR Gohan's super attack like that, it's really big, because that's something that they could then start doing for a lot of units. And, like, I've heard a lot of people say things along the lines of, like, oh, okay, the homie Goresh, for example, was talking about, this is before the 4-year anniversary on Global happened, and he was talking about how, compared to a lot of the units that had just released on JP, units like Trunks, Zamasu, STR Super Saiyan, Namek Goku in particular, Goresh mentioned, their animations were just so impressive that, like, Goresh was talking about how those units to him were just way more hype even than the LR Super Saiyan 4s. Like, even though the LR Super Saiyan 4s were, within the top 5 best units in the game at that time, and, Super Saiyan Namek Goku is not one of the top 5 best units in the game, neither is Trunks and Zamasu, right? But Goresh was still more excited for those TURs and the LRs, and one of the big reasons was because of their animations. So if we have some of these old units that are still really good get updated animations, like, bro, like, okay, how about this? Majin Vegeta's 18-key super attack, the final explosion, isn't honestly that bad, but what if when we get a Majin Buu Saga celebration, which I think is very likely to happen for JP after the 300 million download celebration, what if at that time they update Majin, like, we have another, like, LR banner or something like that with Majin Vegeta featured, and then, they update his super attack animation, like, that would be amazing. Like, what if they started doing this? What if this becomes, like a thing that they do? Like, so it's like, if you've pulled LR Majin Vegeta, cool. Like, now all of a sudden, he has, like, one of these brand new top-tier super attack animations, right? And if you don't have him, you maybe can have a chance to pull for him. Like, I just think this opens up a lot of good stuff, potentially, for the future, for Dokkan. I think Dokkan is doing a very good job with a lot of this stuff recently. Again, I know a lot of people aren't a fan, including me, of a lot of the restrictions in battle they're doing for, like, LR Gohan's transformation, LR Cell's transformation. These things, it's definitely not great the way they're restricting our team building in this manner. 100%. I will agree with that. I think In the long run, it could become healthy for the game, though, because it will make more versions of said character relevant, right? In particular, I could think of Super Saiyan Goku. I would imagine we'll get a Super Saiyan Goku from the first Cooler movie, we'll get a Super Saiyan Goku from the first Broly movie who takes Broly down, and we'll probably get a Super Saiyan Goku from the Super Android 13 movie, the one that just came to Legends. I think all those Super Saiyan Gokus are probably going to come to Dokkan. Now, based upon certain factors, you know, on certain teams, some of these units could be crazy, right? Like, think of the Super Saiyan Goku that took down Broly in the first Broly movie. Maybe he has part of his passive is like he gets 50% extra attack or something per, you know, so per like a bunch of units on the team, right? So, you know, Goku gathered energy from Vegeta, Trunks, Piccolo, Gohan. So maybe Goku has like, I don't know, 150% attack at the start of turn or something like that, right? And then he gets like an extra 50% attack if you got like a Piccolo ally on the team, another 50, you got a Gohan ally on the team, or like, you know, maybe he gets 50% for having Gohan on the team, he gets an extra 20% chance to crit for having Piccolo on the team, Goku gets a 20% chance to dodge for having Trunks on the team. Like, I know, like, then, you know, team building becomes like a lot tighter, right? Like, you don't really have as many options, but at the same time, then maybe the Goku from the first Cooler movie, you know, he has 85% damage reduction against movie boss enemy and Wicked Bloodline enemies. So, like, if you're going up against a movie boss or a Wicked Bloodline enemy, you're using that Super Saiyan Goku from the Cooler movie. But, you know, if you're going to be using a team where you're going to have, you know, Gohan on it and maybe Trunks or Vegeta or something like that, maybe on like a pure Saiyan team build or something, then you would go with the Goku from the Broly movie. Honestly, that's what I think they're eventually going to be going for, but just right now, it just feels very icky, right? I think as time goes on, it's not really going to be so much of a big deal. It's kind of like when LR Gohan first dropped and he was unfeatured, people lost their minds in anger because at the time, LR Gohan was like the most hyped character I believe that had dropped. I think Physical Vegito Blue was also super hyped, but I think LR Gohan, you know, he was definitively the best unit in the game upon his release. This should be the LR right here. Very disappointing. Such an iconic moment. Goku using instant transmission, sacrificing his life, you know, Cell blows up, Goku dies, you know, and then all this that transpires. Just like a legendary moment, right? But it is, you know, they decided not to make him the LR yet. It's okay, it's okay. I do, well, like, we're definitely, again, I've talked about it already in this video, but, like, with all the new arts, he will materialize at some point. Okay, so I've talked about, like, a lot of the stuff I wanted to go over, right? Like, I do want to get back to that Extreme Z area, though, man. It's just, like, I do understand why people would be upset, but it's like normal EZAs are incredibly restrictive anyway. It's not like you have a lot of options for normal EZAs, man. You don't. You've got to use, like, okay, Realm of Gods. You know, if the EZA is weak to Realm of Gods, you know, you pretty much have to use, like, int Realm of Gods units, right? Like, you have to. Like, and they're summonable. Like, people complaining about, like, having to use free-to-play units in this event, it's just, I don't know, it comes off very odd to me. Like, everything is just very weird. It seems like, I think this is more so, could be, again, y'all let me know if I'm just dumb, but this could be an issue of people not happy with Gohan and Cell and, like, their restrictions, and then, like, we didn't get LR Bye Guys Goku as well. So then it's like, you know what, this event is a little bit annoying, but now I really don't like it because the rest of the stuff I'm not the biggest fan of, but I don't know. You know, I'm always going to say, I'm going to maintain that Dokkan really aggressively trying these new, like, events, new ideas and things is a good thing. Like they're actually trying stuff. They're not just giving us the same event cycled over and over and over, which I've heard a lot of people say is a major problem with Dragon Ball Legends. So, you know, Legends and Dokkan, again, there's a lot of people who don't like, oh, why do you got to bring up Dokkan? We're talking about Legends. Or, oh, why do you got to bring up Legends? We're talking about Dokkan. But, like, they're both called, like, Dragon Ball Legends and Dragon Ball Z Dokkan. Like, they're both Dragon Ball games. They're competing games. So you can't look at one without looking at the other. Both games are directly competing with each other at this point. Personally, I do support both games. Like, I'm mainly a Dokkan guy, right? But I want Legends to do good. I want Legends to be good because the better Legends does, then Dokkan, they're like, we got to step our game up. Like, that's just how it works. So, like, Legends, Dokkan continues to be a monster, and Legends, like they're really trying hardcore to do stuff. I mean, I think a lot of the things Legends have done, have been mistakes, but Legends is trying. Like, I think there's no doubt about that. Legends has gotten really good at giving out a lot of free currency as well. Ooh, I do like that art for Gohan right there. I'm surprised there's still so many stages left when we're already at the final Kamehameha battle, right? I think this goes up to 10 stages, and we're about to go into, what, stage 8? Oh, I guess they could, maybe the last stage would be Trunks taking out the androids, but probably not, because that was from Trunks' own event, right? Trunks has his own, like, that own, like, event, the kind of, like, History of Trunks event, which, funny enough, does have some Cell game stuff in it, but that's where I guess they will take care of that. So, alright, so, the final battle, Gohan versus Cell. Again, I do think that this is definitely deserving of these two characters being the best units in the game, but, it didn't happen. It's okay. It's not really that big of a deal. Angel Goku, by the way, I don't... Angel Goku is kind of who I'm thinking about right now, as I would like to see as the next Dokkan Fest exclusive for JP. I think if we had an Angel Goku, that immediately on turn 1, he transforms into Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku, I think would just be absolutely incredible. The reason that would be so beneficial, number 1, Goku against Fat Buu does not fight base form Super Saiyan 1 or Super Saiyan 2. He immediately goes Super Saiyan 3, right? And then number 2, that would be good because Angel base form Goku is not like a super powerful, it's not like, which base form Angel Goku between these 5 should I go with? It's such a tough decision, right? Like, that's not happening. It's not like Perfect Cell is a good example of that. I think Int Perfect Cell, Tech Perfect Cell, and SCR Perfect Cell, you can make a case to use all 3 of them. I think they are very well designed. The 3, not the LR Perfect Cell that came out. I hate his design, but I'm talking about the 3, EZA Perfect Cells, right? So, like, it's like, oh, which one do I go with? There's so many different options. But, you don't have that issue with Angel base form Goku. So, that being, like, the next great sort of Dokkan Fest exclusive character, like, that kind of fills in, again, another hole in Dokkan. Like, now we just have this really good unit who would be on Pure Saiyans. He'd be on, the Super Saiyan 3 category team. He'd be on Transformation Boost. Like, it's just a very powerful upgrade for many teams. There, of course, is where Vegeta... Okay, so they're using base form Vegeta right here. I'm thinking, is Vegeta base form in the manga? In the anime, Vegeta is Super Saiyan. But in the manga, Vegeta might be base form. I can't remember. Now, see, what's interesting about this is, I believe in the colored manga, Goku is in his base form. I've talked about this before. Goku's in his base form in the colored manga. Like, his hair is just, I think, like, flowing up, right? But he's actually in base. But then in the anime, they have him, as Super Saiyan, which definitely works better. I think, like, for the whole moment. Yeah, so we're finishing off Cell, and there's still stages to go. Nani? I can't even think what these last couple stages are going to be. I really guess we are going to do the Trunks stuff then, huh? That's got to be it. Yeah, because there's Vegeta swearing he's never going to fight again, but then, when we get the, whatchamacallit, the android, excuse me, when they go to the Buu Saga, Vegeta's like, oh, yep, I've actually been, like, training harder than ever, I guess that's good, right? Obviously, it would have been not really great if, the Buu Saga had arrived and Vegeta was like a bum, like Gohan. That would have been a shame. By the way, there's still a lot of Gohans that they could release from the Buu Saga. The Buu Saga is honestly so stacked that they could do, 3 celebrations in a row on the Buu Saga, if you really think about it. Like, you could get the first part of the Buu Saga, which probably, so you could say the first part of the Buu Saga would be, like, Great Saiyan Man all the way up to Majin Vegeta blowing up. Then the second part of the Buu Saga probably would go until, like, Gotenks versus Super Buu or something like that. Maybe you could say, or maybe, like, I don't know, maybe even go a little further, go up to, like, Vegito versus Buu. And then the final part would be, maybe Vegito versus Buu up to Kid Buu or something like that. But, like, they could really get in so many Dokkan Fests from there. Like, Gotenks, Vegito could get another Dokkan Fest exclusive. I think Buuhan himself could get another Dokkan Fest exclusive. Buu Gotenks, I feel like, is worthy of a Dokkan Fest exclusive. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that they could do from the Buu Saga, man. LR Ultimate Gohan, LR Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, you know, LR Super Saiyan Vegito. There's not an LR Super Saiyan Vegito, right? Like, there is, like, the fusion one, but not, like, just Super Saiyan Vegito. There's not one of those. Like, there's actually so much, you know, LR Ultimate Gohan. You know, we could get, like, a decent, like, Piccolo as, like, a Buu arc support. I think Piccolo would be a ideal candidate for a Majin Buu arc 40% support type unit, right? Like, if you really think about it, him. Maybe they could even make, so we never see Gotenks go Super Saiyan 2, but maybe they could just do that. Make Super Saiyan 2 Gotenks and have that be the support type unit. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be Trunks in the future right here, because we just went through the entirety of, yeah, it is, okay. Because I was going to say, we just went through the entirety of, like, the end of the, like, the Cell Games arc right there. So yeah, then Trunks goes back, then he takes down the androids. This, honestly, I think this is one of the best episodes in Dragon Ball Z by far. Like, seeing everything involving Trunks, all the bullshit he's gone through, you know, all the pain and everything. And then Trunks goes back and he just duppies the androids. And then his fight against First Form Cell I thought was really good. And I know there's a lot of, you know, like, always, like, discontent and arguments about, like, the DBZ Falconer score, right, versus, like, the original Dragon Ball, like, soundtrack. Me, personally, I do think the Japanese soundtrack is better. Like, up into parts of the Cell Saga. There's parts of the Cell Saga where, even though, like, I'm pretty much, like, I'm a big, like, sub-only guy at this point, but, like, it's probably because of nostalgia or whatever, but, like, Gohan transforming into Super Saiyan 2, it does hit differently for me with the Falconer score, right? Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it just does. Like, you know, I'm not even the biggest dub guy anymore, but it still hits like that for me. And then, like, another one of those moments is Trunks versus First Form Cell, which is, I think, going to be the last stage we go through here. That's another one of those moments where I felt like the music, I don't know, it worked better. I feel like the score for the Japanese version of Dragon Ball Z, like, again, up until the Android Saga, I thought it's incredible. Like the Frieza Saga dumps on the Falconer score, I think. The Japanese soundtrack for the Frieza Saga dumps on the Falconer soundtrack for the Frieza Saga, I think, easily. It's so good. But then, like, I don't know, a lot of the tracks that are used in the Android and Cell Saga, and then even in the Buu Saga is especially, I'm not the biggest fan of the score in the Buu Saga for the Japanese Dragon Ball Z a lot. I do think those kind of go downhill. Good news is Dragon Ball Super's OST is insane. Think like UI Goku's theme and all that. Like, pretty much, like, at this point, most of my favorite Dragon Ball, like, OSTs and soundtracks and stuff like that, it's actually Dragon Ball Super stuff. Like, you know, the Saiyan Pride theme that happens, like, when Vegeta goes, you know, Evolution Blue, and then, like, when Vegeta is, you know, shooting the final flash at Jiren. Oh, that's another thing I should mention. I don't think I mentioned this in this video. This is a long video, all right? There's so many things I want to talk about. My mind is racing in so many different directions. But Evolution Blue Vegeta, his animation was also updated a little bit. They didn't give him a new super attack animation, but they made it look a lot nicer, a lot cleaner, which is good. I probably should have done a video just on it, just kind of, like, going over it, but, like, I know a lot of other people did do that, and, like, you know, a lot of people in the community are aware of it, that Evolution Blue Vegeta has, like, a new, better looking super attack animation, which is good. Dokkan, again, I'm not really too frustrated with Dokkan these days. I wasn't the biggest fan of the restrictions for Gohan and Cell, but, I mean, you know, that's just because I was a little bit biased in that I wanted Gohan to be the best unit in the game, because, like, that's, again, one of, like, my top 3 or 2 favorite moments in Dragon Ball Z. That Trunks still doesn't have a card, by the way. Trunks does not use his Super Trunks form to battle that Cell. He's just in Super Saiyan 1, which is not, like just normal Super Saiyan without the upgraded grade, like, you know, grade 2 and grade 3 and stuff like that. So, like, I would like to see that Trunks added into the game at some point as well. But, all right. So there we go. There is the Cell Games event completed. So now I believe we do have the Extreme Z area, I think, should be up. Should it not? Maybe you have to do the normal stages as well. But I do think you unlock that once you get all the stages done. of all of these story events. I probably have to do the normal stages as well, which is why. But there is the Cell Games events. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll do a video next on the Extreme Z area, and I'll catch you guys next time.